Today we have the 2023 Nissan Armada, and this is a top-end platinum model. If you're looking for a big 3-row SUV that can tow, that can go off-road, that can haul a family around and have some luxury features, this might be what you're looking for. Today we're going to take a full detailed look at the exterior, the interior, get it out on the road for a test drive, and find everything out. Let's get started. All right, y'all, let's take a look at the exterior details of this 23 Armada. Now, this is still mostly unchanged for the most part over the last couple of years since its refresh, but this top-end platinum model offers a lot, and there's a few different tweaks to a couple different trim levels here. Starting right up front, you're going to get the big V-Motion grille from Nissan. A lot of chrome up here on this front end with this top-end model. Of course, LED turn signals with this really slick-looking LED daytime running light as well. And you're going to get LED headlights and LED fog lights standard on this model. To cap off this top-end trim, look at all the chrome. Chrome around the windows, chrome on the door, the mirrors. You've even got this running board down below, but you don't have chrome wheels. It's just kind of funny. It throws it off a little bit, but it matches the gray paint with these massive 22-inch wheels. Now, dimensionally, this is about 209 inches long, which still makes it shorter just a little bit than the competing Tahoe and Expedition. You will get 9.2 inches of ground clearance, which is definitely respectable. And up top, we've got the crossbars and the roof rack as an option, so you can haul some stuff around on this big-bodied SUV. The rear end, so one thing that makes this feel a little longer is this massive bumper. I mean, look at that. A lot of vehicles have trimmed that down. You've got an LED turn signal back here as well, and some more chrome with this big upright design. Now, coming to the cargo area of the Armada, there's definitely some pros and some cons. So first of all, this does have a power liftgate, not hands-free, but you can open it right there, key fob, or on the inside. There's no foot activated option to go down there like there's on just about every other SUV and crossover. But back here, you're gonna get about 16.5 cubic feet. So for reference, this is my big giant backpack, about the size of a carry-on suitcase. I can fit it back here with it fitting okay laying this way. Those seats are even reclined a little bit more than they might typically be. You have a couple of tie downs back here. You've got this one right here as well. The one thing I'm a little disappointed by is there's no hooks to hold something like a grocery bag or a backpack or anything like that. There's a 12-volt power outlet on that side. Underneath of this carpet, we have an extra little space there, and then underneath of that, you get your jack kit, and the spare tire is under the vehicle. Then right here, this is how we fold things down. So, power folding button, super slow, and honestly, if you're gonna have a power fold for one row of seats and not the other, why not be the second row? Because you can easily reach the third row, but the second row, you have to actually go there in order to do that. And when you fold this down, this is actually really nice and flat. So as you can see, those seats go down. It takes a while for them to go down. But then you get about 50 cubic feet right here. So this is tall, it's wide, and it accommodates a lot. Now coming to the second row, let's fold these down. So it is not your typical just go flat. The seat tumbles forward like this. So you've got really a good space right there. You could even leave the third row up and then have some extra legroom, kind of like minivan style. And if you do the same thing to the other side, you're gonna get about 95 cubic feet overall. It doesn't go quite as far because of those seats, but still good space overall. Now to get into the vehicle, Nissan will give you the smart key system. First of all, you have remote start on here, and this is now standard down to the SV trim level. I believe it was just the SL, but holy cicada right now. You guys hear this? All summer long down here. Anyways, smart key system is only on these front doors and the lift gate. It's not on the back door, even on this $72,000 vehicle. And it only operates with this button. There's no sensor, whether you like it or not. It's just this button. This mirror is automatic dimming, and this is automatic dimming all the way down to the SV trim. That's a really nice feature. As we come inside, this has the entry exit system, so this can move forward and backwards automatically with your memory settings. We get quilted leather on this platinum model. This brown leather, what do you think of that? You can get obviously different colors too, but this is pretty nice. It's very flat. There's not much for bolstering. It's just purely designed to be soft and squishy, and it actually is. You've only got two-way lumbar. Despite that, I'm surprised we don't have four-way at this price point, but you get a power operating steering wheel here as well, in and out, up and down. Like I said, memory settings on here, which show up on the door for an entry exit system. And big SUV, you might have questions. If you have mobility issues, you have a grab handle here and you have a grab handle on that side. You'll notice right next to your temperature dial, you've got your ventilated seats and your heated seat controls. They're both 3-tier. And we get a heated steering wheel button right over there. So this is a leather-wrapped steering wheel. You've got a 4-spoke design, so it's open in the middle. Got a little slot there. It's still comfortable to hold on to with some little grips. You've got memory settings, you've got heating, you've got ventilation, you've got an entry-exit system, quilted leather. It's pretty soft and comfortable. Second row, first of all, look at this. Just look at this leather right here. This is kind of crazy. This is actually soft. I don't actually know if this is leather, but you know, those seats are leather, but still, this is soft. You've got a soft grab handle, good space down there with the bottle holder. Second row also gives you grab handles on both sides, and we have the optional entertainment system. You can plug in an HDMI port and pretty much play whatever you want on there. Now, legroom, pretty good. Not great for this size of a vehicle, but still good. I'm 5'9". This is where I like to have this seat, so I've got good room overall. Because of the fold down nature of these seats, you don't get to scoot them forward or backwards. Convenience features back here, this is actually kind of cool. So you've got your own climate controls, you know, you've got your fan speed and your temperature, so this is like a 3-zone. We've got heated seats for both of our backseat passengers. You even have this button for easy access in there without having to shove the parent's arm out of the way, and it's just really nice if you have some items back there. Below everything, you get USB ports on the right, 12-volt power outlet, and a 3-prong outlet down here. Now this is with the captain's chairs, you can get an 8-seater option or the 7-seater. This one is gonna give us this giant armrest in the middle. So it depends if you want that to separate people. This is nice and soft. You've got good cup holders with some accommodation things right there, and you can cover them up too. So if you want this can be nice to have, or you can have 3 seats across. Headroom is good, sitting up tall here, and even though we can't scoot the seat forward and backwards, you can recline. Not a bad back seat overall. I forgot to mention you've got AC vents overhead on both sides. Now let's climb into the third row, and as you saw me fold this forward for the cargo area earlier, this gives you a huge space to get in there. Like I said, you could totally leave that out and have great foot space for your third row passengers if they want. You also have the option of folding it from back here and 2 cup holders on this side, plus right overhead you get a grab handle and your own AC vents for the third row. Sitting in the middle, my knees are definitely up high, but I can actually sit here and snug my feet in underneath of that. And I've got to say, this is actually rather uncomfortable here. There's actually a little lump right there and some plastic that makes it uncomfortable to sit, which is kind of disappointing for a big SUV like this. And as I sit up tall, I just have my hat on and I can feel my hat rubbing the ceiling a little bit. Again, a little disappointing for a vehicle this size, but probably going to work for most families, and you aren't going to fit adults back here very often. Kids back here should be just fine. Now, climbing inside of the Armada, things are pretty upright, fairly utilitarian looking, and I honestly like it in here for the most part. It's easy to live with, easy to operate. Like I said, you got a heated leather-wrapped steering wheel. The one thing I'll complain about is the controls on the steering wheel. It's such a huge gap between top button and bottom button, unlike most where everything is just within an easy thumb's reach. I mean, you can reach everything, but just something to keep in mind. One nice convenience feature is you have automatic rain-sensing windshield wipers. Then right in front of us, you've got analog gauges on the side, more traditional, with a digital display in the middle. This digital display is kind of crazy. There's so many menus. Look at all the different things on the bottom. So you have to literally scroll left and right in order to go through all of those. It's not like you have 3 of them and then sub-menus in between. It's just a bunch of stuff and it can kind of be overwhelming. But I basically just keep it on the speedometer. On the door, you've got nice soft materials right here, soft armrest right there, automatic one-touch windows, and you'll notice in the test drive, it's a fairly quiet vehicle. We've got a laminated glass right here as well. Down there, cup holders, bottle holders. It's fairly tall, and you've got a storage area here. Even my large mug can sit in there. One thing I appreciate is instead of the electronic parking brake like everything has, you still get an actual physical parking brake. Now coming over here, our touchscreen is right here. So it's a touchscreen and you can control it with a knob, which I'll show you. This looks pretty nice. It's fairly clear. It's up nice and high, easy to see. We have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto on here. You can also go back to the Nissan menu system here, and it's very familiar, just like we've seen. It's so much like all the other Nissans. I feel like they need to upgrade this or update it, modernize it a little bit, but things still work pretty well. You also have a nice sounding audio system in here too. We also have a 13 speaker Bose audio that sounds pretty good in here as well. Then coming down, you've got a volume knob and a tuning knob down there with seeking buttons, your AC vents, and then dual zone climate up here, technically 3-zone if you include controlling the back seat, which you can do from here. It's easy. It's really nice. You can actually turn on or off the back seat controls or selectively control the back seat with that. Otherwise, you've got your front seat controls, ventilated seat options, heated seats. Everything is very simple to use. Just a lot of piano black here. You can cover this space up, or you can take advantage of a very slow wireless charging area, but you can still use that 12-volt power outlet. Down here you've got a couple of USB ports, and because you have capable towing in here, you actually get a trailer brake controller. That is excellent to see. Coming back even more, we've got our 4-wheel drive shifter. So you've got auto, 4 high or 4 low. Auto is pretty much full time. Then you've got a tow mode, snow mode as well. Then our cup holders right here are pretty good size. You can cover them up with this. And we have an extra control dial for our display. So I love that you have this to be able to control the display, or you can actually touch the screen. That control dial also gives us access to our 360 camera. So you put it in reverse, or you can push your camera button and you can see all next to the vehicle. Change the view, you can see the tire right next to the vehicle, or turn off your little parking sensors if you want. Coming back here, big, wide, comfortable armrest, but I tell you what, this armrest is really low and you cannot elevate it like some. You can ratchet up or something. This one stays here, no moving it forward, no ratcheting it, but it's big inside. You've got a lot of space there and it's softly lined with this little tray. Nissan gives us a lockable glove box right there. Overhead, one really nice feature that you can get in here is this auto dimming, or excuse me, this camera digital rearview mirror. You've seen this in other brands as well. You can have it as just a regular automatic dimming mirror like this, or you can have a camera, which is excellent and perfect visibility out the back. Overhead, sunglass holder, got LED interior lighting. Right up above that, we've got a sunroof here as well. No panoramic roof option or anything fancy like that. And then with this, you just have this little sliding tray. Kind of disappointing, but still. All right, y'all, we are behind the wheel of this Nissan Armada, and I've driven this before, and I'll say it just like I did last time. This feels like you are driving a tank. This is as much of a tank as you can still buy today for just your typical new vehicle. It is big and burly and it's got good power. It still has a V8. Let's get on it. Just that naturally aspirated V8 sound right there. Now, specs on this. This has a direct injected 5.6 liter V8 engine, just like we've seen in the Titan before, 400 horsepower and 413 pound-feet of torque. Now, those are definitely not class leading compared to what you can get in this class, but for a naturally aspirated V8, I'll definitely still take it. I like it. It's pretty darn smooth. This comes with Nissan's 7-speed transmission. And this one is all-wheel drive, or 4-wheel drive, but you can get just a rear-wheel drive version as well of the Armada. And overall, miles per gallon is pretty much terrible, worst in class, but still, I mean, that's what you get with a naturally aspirated V8 like this. It hasn't really been updated in a while. But would you go for something like this with the naturally aspirated V8, or one of the turbo options out there, for like from Ford or from Toyota? And handling this, it definitely feels pretty wallowy, definitely like a boat, because it's big, it's tall, there's a lot of body movement, and that's to be expected. Even with large 22-inch wheels on this model, it is still fairly comfortable riding. It's got a nice, smooth ride for the most part, especially considering the big SUV stature and nature of it. And the steering wheel's a little bit loose, but that's what makes it comfortable. And these seats are soft and comfortable as well, so you've got a comfortable and quiet ride. Now let's go ahead and get pedaled down again. There we go, good power. The overall power is definitely great. Now, this is where you feel the weakness more so, is with the handling on here. It's not terrible, it's okay for a big SUV, but compared to some of the newer ones or some of the more updated ones, they seem to drive better and handle better than this, like the Tahoe Expedition and the Sequoia. But I still really enjoy the way this feels to drive. And we're on a pretty rough textured road right now. It's got this rocky, gravelly type surface, and this Armada is still a quiet vehicle. Like I showed you, you got the laminated glass on here, so wind noise isn't that bad even though you're driving a big box, and road noise isn't either. And the overall convenience in here is I like being able to touch the screen. It's at a good line of sight right there. You got a controller down here as well. It's fairly comfortable, so there's not much to complain about on a day-to-day driving aspect here. It's got 3 rows, it can tow, it can go off-road somewhat, and it has some luxury features, so it's just a big, powerful SUV that can haul a family around. It is outdated compared to some competitors in terms of its powertrain, its efficiency, the details on the inside, but overall, I still like it. And I'd love to know what you think as well. If you want a big, powerful, comfortable SUV, is this something you would go for? Let me know what you think down below. Hope you enjoyed the video, and have a great day.